right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Today I have on Georgia Konstantakis, who is the managing partner and creator of the Konstantakis Law firm in Milwaukee that does everything from personal injury to corporate law and lots of things in between there. So welcome, Georgia.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Yeah, I've got a law firm here in Greenfield, Wisconsin, and I've been practicing law for over 30 years.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's a long time. Yeah, my 30 year, I shouldn't say that. I should 29 years at 30, it's going to be 2026. So it'll be 2026 of May. It'll be 30 years of practicing law.
Oh, that's
Long
awesome.
time.
So tell us a little bit about your background. I know that you specialize probably in not lesser, fewer, more focused areas of your firm.
Yeah. Yes. So just to give you a little bit of a kind of a roundabout, we are about 13 people in our office. So we
Okay.
have 4 lawyers, and everyone just kind of handles certain areas of law. My areas are estate planning, probate, and I also do car accidents. I've been doing
Okay.
car accidents from the jump, day one. And now I've picked up in the last 15 years probate as well as estate planning. So
Okay.
we do a lot of estate planning and probate, but we do also practice other areas. I would call the office a general practice because we have other attorneys handling different areas. So some of
Okay.
the other areas that we do handle are some criminal, traffic, drunk driving defense. We also do corporate real estate type work, as well as some family law, which I don't like handling family.
That's why we have teams. That's why we build teams, right? So people can do that.
That's right. That's right. That's
Have
right.
you been independent your whole law career, or did you start with someone else?
Yeah, good question. So I started, first of all, I went to law school out east, started out at Massachusetts School of Law, and that's where I pretty much stayed for about, oh, I want to say 3.5, almost 4 years after I graduated law school. So I was out in the Boston area for about 10 years.
Okay.
And I graduated, practiced. I also clerked for a judge. I also worked for a law firm. It was a general practice law firm. And what happened was one of the partners that was sharing space in the same office ended up pulling me and bringing me to their firm downtown. So I was given an early opportunity to run my own practice while under the wing, so to speak, of another lawyer.
Sure.
So yeah, I had some really great experiences. I cannot complain. Quite honestly, I learned so much just by practicing for the initial law firm, and then after there it just took off. So
And
I
how
didn't
did
think I
you?
was equipped to do that, initially.
uh,
It was muddy waters. I was like, wait, what? But she really, this woman had faith in me. She gave me the opportunity to practice law and handle her cases, and at the same time, start running my firm. And quite honestly, within a year, I got so busy with my own practice that I wasn't able to take on any more of her work, which was great. But we were still in the same law office for a number of years.
Was that here or was that still in Boston?
That was all in Massachusetts, all in Boston.
And
Yeah.
what caused you to end up in Greenfield, Wisconsin?
Good question. So my husband, ironically enough, his name is George. My name is Georgia. He he is from Massachusetts, but was living in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. So
Really?
yes, yes. And so my sister introduced us, and then from there it was, so where are we going to live? And it was a question of, does he come back to Massachusetts, or do I stay where I'm at? What's going to happen? And of course, him having his own office, he decided that it would probably make the most sense, given that my family is from the Midwest, to come back to Wisconsin. Well, to Wisconsin. I'm
Okay.
originally from Chicago.
Okay.
So Yeah.
Did you grow up there and then go to out east for law school
Yes.
or okay.
Yes. So I grew up in the Chicagoland area and then went to Loyola undergrad, majored in
Okay.
finance, got the base over there. I worked for it was called Lakeshore Bank. I was a field auditor and I just didn't like the job. So I said, what the heck else am I going to do? And I said, all right, let's go to law school. Let's see what happens there. And my dad was a huge proponent. He said, you are perfect for this. You are articulate with your words. You're a negotiator. You have what it takes to be a lawyer. So quite honestly, that's what kind of started this whole process for me.
That's super
Yeah.
cool. So so the question, tell us about someone who pushed or inspired you. I guess your dad is at least one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was the instigator of it all. Ironically enough, and this is I wanted to be an actress.
Well, that's
And that
cool.
didn't pan out. That did not pan out because my dad trumped that idea. He said, absolutely not. You're not moving to Hollywood. And, he was this old Greek man who had, these ideals of just, you can't do that because it's just not
Hmm.
going to be safe. And I'm not sending my little girl to Hollywood and to get spoiled, so that's what happened. So I did a change of gears, so to speak, and decided to get into law. It's probably the next best thing. So
The next best thing is acting. Maybe.
yeah,
I mean, they say all the world's a stage, right?
it is. It is. Yeah, you could say that for sure.
So what's one of your biggest learnings so far as a business owner, the business side of the law
Yeah,
game?
good question. Well, you know what? It's a balancing act. Having your own business is a balancing act. You got to be your own marketer. You got to be your own accountant initially. I mean, obviously now I have
Sure.
other people doing this work.
Right.
But when I first started out, I was a hustler. I had to really hustle to get all of these balls up in the air. And thank God I had a really strong financial background that I was able to meld the two together and it turned out. It really turned out great.
Just out
But
of, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, what was the first role that you hired?
The first role was pretty much a paralegal, a
Okay.
receptionist, and then from there it was accounting, and then from there I would say marketing was probably my last piece, just because to me that's more of a lucrative part of it, where initially you want to start with, you need help, you need someone to support you in the work that you're doing. So that was the initial thing, answering calls, receptionist, that kind of stuff. And then it advanced to paralegal. And then from
Okay.
there, it advanced to bookkeeping,
Okay.
obviously. But I was doing my own books for a while
Yeah.
because I knew how to
I
use QuickBooks.
yeah. I we talked to obviously tons of people and
Hmm.
most of them come down on the side of admin help first, but I've met a lot of them. I'm like, man, you should go hire a sales. You should hire
Yeah,
a salesperson and do the admin work yourself to get started from
yeah.
just their personal skill set standpoint.
I think for me, the biggest thing was me being my own salesperson. I was copious about going to networking events. That you've got to get your face out there. If you're
Yeah,
not getting your face out there, you're not going anywhere. You'll be looking at the four walls, quite frankly. You
right.
have to get your name out there, pass out your business cards, tell people who you are, ask them if they need any assistance. And they may not need assistance that at that particular time, but they're saving your business card, let me tell you. And down the road, you're getting a phone call 6 to 8 months later. And
That's
they're
right.
like, hey, I met you at such and such, and I was wondering if you could help me out. And that's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, we talk a lot that like I think business is the greatest game on the planet. Like, but the law is such a specialized game that you
It
can't do
is.
it on your own,
Yeah,
right? Like a lot of people can
yeah,
figure out QuickBooks, but tax
yeah,
code probably not worth
yeah.
their time. when there's people
Yeah, for
that
sure.
love, I mean, there's people that love it, right? That figure out
Yeah,
all these little cool things. So
yeah,
you're right. People keep your card because they need law, they need accounting, they need insurance, some core
yeah,
things that businesses need. So
absolutely.
what's the other side of the coin? What's your biggest challenge been?
Um, quite honestly, one of it's making sure that I keep my staff not entertained, but I
Some of
wouldn't say
that too,
entertained.
probably.
Let's not use that word. I would say more of just keeping them motivated and keeping them on task and, just the management side of things.
Mhm.
Sometimes that falls by the wayside, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
I get busy and then I don't have time. And then it's just this snowball effect. So I have to take copious notes and make sure that I am following back with my staff. Hey, did you get this done? Did you get that done? Just,
Yeah.
tasking things out.
Yeah, believe it or not, I worked 30 years for other people before I, lost my mind and started my business. And as we do training for some big companies, like management training has been eye-opening for me because there's a system that works for management.
Yeah.
And in 30 years, I never saw anything like it.
Oh, great.
And it's been really interesting. Like the biggest company we work with is Genuine Parts Company that owns Napa Auto Parts.
Sure.
And you would think these guys are pretty senior, like they're pretty
Yeah.
senior managers, right? They're running, hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue. And
Yeah.
we were talking about the basics of how you motivate people, and
Yeah.
they're like, yell at them. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But
No,
it
no.
reminded me that management has a bad rap, right?
Sure,
Like
it does.
versus leadership,
Absolutely.
especially. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, and now it's a little bit easier because there's four lawyers in the office, so they've kind of divided the task of managing specific paralegals. We
yeah,
have, a lot of paralegals in the office, more paralegals than lawyers. So
that's
it's
normal
just,
though, right? Like over time
oh,
because the specialization that you guys have to have.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ironically enough, most cases, if you're a general practitioner and you've been doing it as long as I have, I can recite this stuff backwards.
Yeah,
But, it takes time. It takes,
that's right.
it's not an overnight process. It requires you to live and learn, so to speak. So there's always that, you'll have an opportunity. Well, you're going to make a mistake or two.
Yeah.
Once you get to that advanced level, then it's a little different. But for the most part, um, and you just never know how a case. You might think you've got the strongest case and the strongest arguments, and then you get to court, and the judge is just knocking you off your butt and saying no. You know, that's not how this is going to go, or the jury decides differently.
Yeah.
So it really just depends.
So
But for the most part, I've been successful.
the ability to use paralegals, again, if you're listening to this, right? Like there's not much more difficult to delegate than thinking. And so how do you, when you have a paralegal doing something, how do you assign that work? Do you know what you want them to get? Are they just doing research for you? Or I'm just curious about that particular part.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for example, when I'm doing trusts, I have created a specific model that I use, right?
Okay.
For the
Yep.
most part. And it
Yep.
depends in which category you fall. So
Yep.
if you're in this category, it's this. If it's in this category, you're that. So they'll take that, and we have a software that we use that essentially will kind of cut and paste a little bit.
Yep.
And it's made things so much easier. So, when I'm doing the intake, I'll put the information in the computer, and then the computer kind of spits out, I shouldn't say the computer, but the software spits out a skeleton draft. And then
Yeah.
from there, I review it. But that skeleton draft is something that a paralegal could arguably do,
Yeah.
and then I take it from there and just dissect it and make sure it's got all of the items that need to be listed in the trust, for example,
Yeah.
or in a summons and complaint, whatever the
Yeah.
case might be.
I
So,
mean, it sounds like it's the legal version of your systems and processes, right? Like
yes,
we all
yes,
need them. They're
yeah,
They're
And
not.
we do have a good CRM system. We have all of that. If you don't have that, you are doing a disservice to yourself,
Yeah.
because it's twice and three times and four times the amount of work. Just leave it to the experts. Yes, you're going to have to pay a little something for that software, but it's
Yeah.
worth every penny in the long run. It keeps you on task. It gives a list of basically, you're just not having to reinvent the wheel every time.
Yeah.
So it works.
It's the good, faster, cheap, choose any two option, right?
Yes.
Like you're either gonna put like
Yeah,
I don't know how much business owners understand the value of their time, right? Versus,
absolutely. Yeah.
like what you said, if it takes 5 minutes to put it in this 10 minutes to put it in a CRM, but then
Hmm.
it's there. And all you gotta do
It's
is
in
type
there.
one word and you pull all the stuff up and the work's been done again. So
You bet.
listen, everybody. I mean, if it works in the law, right, it works in all of our businesses and all the aspects. So, Georgia, what's the next big
Absolutely.
thing for you and Konstantakis Law?
Well, it is a little bit of hush hush, but we are in the process of
I mean, this
working
is a,
on.
this is
Here
like
it is. I'm
don't
letting you
repeat
all
this.
know.
Don't repeat this in a megaphone.
I know. But it's pretty much a done deal. We are opening up a second office in
Oh,
Waukesha. So we're
congratulations.
excited about that. Good things
Awesome.
are happening.
Yeah,
So
same staff or
so for now, the goal is to basically take some of the staff and say, all right, on these days, you're going to be scheduling clients in Waukesha. So I'm not sure how this is going to work. We're kind of playing with the idea, but we do have a fair amount of people who are in the Waukesha area.
sure.
They don't want to travel to Greenfield to sign their trust. They don't want to travel here to, give us a traffic ticket or whatever the case might be. It's
Yeah,
just going to be a nice opportunity to cater to the Waukesha County area, so Lake
good,
Country.
good.
Yeah.
So I have one other question for you, and I never tell anybody I'm going to ask this question, and that question is there a question that you wished I would have asked you? And if there is, consider it asked.
Oh my, that's a big question of the question. The
That's how I
question of the
outsource all
question.
my work. That's that's how I give you guys all the work to do.
So, something that I do, a lot of here we are talking about business and
Yep.
talking about, being successful and being, there's also, you gotta also, don't forget about your personal life. You, everything is a balancing
Mm,
act, right? So, what I find is helpful for me is doing yoga, meditating, maybe just taking, 5 minutes in the morning and just doing nothing. Don't be on your phone. Just, even if it means just reading a quote, something that's going to inspire you, that's just going to start, jumpstart your day and make it so that it's going to be a great day,
yeah,
and not negative.
yeah.
So for me, that's so important, is
That's
just
awesome.
having some peace, and it just kind of balances the whole concept of work and then personal life, and just having that peace and knowing that, at the end of the day, you're going to go back to your family. You're going to take
Yeah,
the business hat off and you're going to put the mom hat on.
yep.
So it happens for everybody, and just don't forget that, because, these kids, they grow up so fast. And
It's
then once
crazy.
they do, it's just this, you're an empty nester and you're like, what just happened? This just went in a flash.
Yeah.
So for me,
Although
that's you know,
I will say we have four kids, and
yeah.
now that we are empty nesters, I'll just say every season of life has its benefits.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
love our kids. It's great. And we have
Yeah,
four, so we got big holidays, and
sure.
they like to go the same places we go. So,
That's
um,
great.
and
That's
yet I'm
great.
also a believer, like in business, succession planning for people. There's going to be a new
Absolutely.
generation that takes over, right? Like,
Absolutely.
let's just set
Yeah,
them up as well as we can, and
absolutely.
so that they can have their lives too. So, anyway, Georgia Konstantakis, thanks for being on the show today,
Oh, well,
and
thanks for having me, Mike. I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Great to catch up with you and good luck with the new office.
All right. Thank
I happen
you.
I happen to know y'all sales skills are going to be better then too, so I look forward to that too.
Absolutely.
All
All
right,
righty.
take care.
Take care.